All right, welcome to another video with SirLucien, where we're going to take a look at a Battletech mech in the game MechWarrior Online. And today I have for you the Vindicator, a 45-ton medium mech. Also happens to be on sale this week. So we went ahead and wanted to go ahead and take a look at it. So let's look at the loadout so we get a little bit of an idea of what we're picking up. This is going to be the VND-1R variant. All right, so Mech Lab. As you can see on our right arm, we have our PPC. We have a head-mounted medium laser. We have a left torso-mounted LRM-5. And we have a right arm-mounted small laser. At 45 tons, doesn't look like we're going to be moving too fast with this engine. So we're only going to be going about 64.8 in MechWarrior Online. We've got plenty of armor, not too much spots are left open, so it's armored about as much as it's going to get at this point, 288. And, it is a jump jet capable medium mech. Okay. If you were going to be doing, if you were going to buy this and then you were going to go ahead and kind of configure it yourself, realize that you're going to have 5 energy hardpoints, 1 missile hardpoint, and 1 AMS hardpoint, and that's what you're going to have to work with. So basically an energy-based platform with the addition of a missile of some sort there. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's the VND-1R. We're going to go ahead and learn some history from Battletech about it first while we're waiting in queue to get in a game. And then we'll see it in a few matches to see how it turns out. Okay? As you can see, one thing I would keep in mind already, and we've seen from previous videos, PPC and our small laser here are mounted on the arms. So that's going to mean it's going to be a lower aim point. So just keep that in mind. Like if you're trying to pop over hills or pop around buildings, keep in mind where your guns are so that you're hugging the right side of the cover to give you the most protection. A nice head-mounted laser is going to be nice here, and you can see where the missile system is here, the LRM. So that's nice. Those are nice high points. I always like a high point weapon system because it feels like it hits where your cursor is. The lower ones, they come up underneath from your cursor, so you just have to keep an eye on your aiming reticle. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. We're going to learn a little bit about it. Go ahead, quick play, and we're going to jump in. So this has been manufactured by the Series Metals Industries, and the production year was 2826. Let's get some history. There we go. So the Vindicator is one of the most well-known Capellan Confederation battle mechs. This workhorse of the CCAF was built in 2826 between the First and Second Succession Wars to maximize the effectiveness of the Confederation's production capabilities and fulfill as many roles as possible. Designed by committee, the Vindicator's jack-of-all-trades nature means it does not excel in any one role but fulfills them adequately. With almost all of its components produced on Capella, the Vindicator is also cheap, easy to mass-produce, and quick to repair with a ready supply of spare parts. The mech has a top speed of only 64.8 kilometers per hour, so this is a mech that's not been, as we'll see in MechWarrior Online, increased speed, where we've seen many mechs have had a higher speed than they do in their Battletech counterparts. This one has the same, which allows it to keep with most heavy mechs and some slower medium mechs. 4 jump jets give it a jumping capability of up to 120 meters, which, while not up to par with greater distances of mechs like the Phoenix Hawk, allows the Vindicator the ability to outmaneuver most heavier mechs, as well as making it easier to get through rough terrain. It also carries more armor than the Phoenix Hawks, with good overall coverage, particularly in its rear torso and legs, making it better protected than smaller mechs. Armament for the mech is adequate, though its primary weapons are unsuited for point-blank ranges, while 16 heat sinks help keep it cool, so keep that in mind while we're playing. Unfortunately, earlier models of the Vindicator suffered from a design flaw wherein the head-mounted laser created a bulge in the cockpit. More than making the space cramped for tall mech warriors, it also interfered with the ejection propulsion system, resulting in the deaths of a number of mech warriors when the escape pods exploded during ejection. Good thing in MechWarrior Online we don't eject too often. Engineers managed to redesign the cockpit layout prior to the War of 3039, eliminating the deadly intrusion and decreasing the chance of said unfortunate malfunction. Due to its relatively lackluster design and the outrageously markups on spare parts sold to out-of-state parties, the Vindicator has remained almost exclusive to the compelling Confederation since its introduction. Even in the wake of the Fourth Succession War, with a good portion of their military complex and resources gone, the Capellan leadership continued funding production of this mech and updated it with a rediscovery of lost tech. Following the introduction of the Firestarter Omni mech, it is spread by the second Starleague production of the Vindicator was curtailed, though the line would be partially revived with a couple of specialized variants in 3060. All right. So that's a good start to our history. It wasn't a mech I used too often in Battletech. I had my own favorite kind of medium mechs. And right off the bat, I'm seeing the Vindicator has a real low sight line here. The cockpit really cramps it in. So you've got a lot of stuff towards the bottom. Let's go thermal for this map, just so we can see a little bit better. So as you can see, we got a PPC, small laser, medium laser, and then our LRM. And nicely enough, just like I tell you in every video, you should set your weapon groups up before you go into game. This weapon group happens to be exactly the way I would probably set it anyways. So we know the PPC is on the right arm, so we want to make sure we're kind of moving around the right if we can. Let's check our speed. Yep, 64.8, just like in the Battletech, so that's the same. I'm going to stay with the group at this point. There's a hunchback. 4P, that's a good one. We all know how powerful that one can be. Alright, looks like a good amount of my team is this way. Let's see if we can hit that Mermot. Lost target. Got an Orion over this way, so we got the heavy lance over here, it looks like.
New target acquired.
Thunderbolt. So with this mech, just like it said, it had long-range weapons. Even though you have a medium laser and a small laser, which really are not adequate for fighting close, to me this is still a kind of a long-range mech. Zoomed in, cockpit view is a little better. You've got a pretty open screen. See how low that PPC comes in? That's going to be an issue. That's something you're going to want to get used to with this mech. So you're going to be going to want to do a few matches just to figure out where that arm fire is coming from. Look how high I'd have to get over my guys. Oh, are those all coming for me? Make sure you want a torso twist to the left if you can. That's going to be what you're going to lose there is a small laser, which if you're going to lose anything, that's what you want to lose. Let's see what's going on here. Try to make sure this guy just doesn't come up and kill a bunch of my guys from behind. Does have ECM though. He's going to start making his way back in, I'm sure. I need to start helping here. Ooh, there we go. Somebody's out there tagging him, which is good. All right, so kind of compressed in here. My team is grouped up. They didn't spread out very much. That could be a problem. Oh, see, I got to get that name. I missed it. That one should have hit. Can we see yet? No, I still can't really see.
New target acquired.
There's a good hit. Good hits.
New target acquired.
Left turn, left turn.
New target acquired. Target destroyed.
There we go.
New target.
Got a help there, an assist. Heat's not too big of a problem yet.
New target acquired. New target acquired.
Firing off missiles, so staying at range, which I'm usually not very good at. I always charge in. Hiding behind the building. This guy's in front of me. Where's this guy going here?
Target acquired. Enter toxin.
Flanking. See how low that is? Oh, there it is. Alright, medium mechs. Don't take too much. Wow, really only that much damage. Wasn't so good. Okay, let's jump out. That's a tough one to say because when you have to stay in thermal, you don't really get a good view of what's going on. So let's, looks like their team's got that. My team bunched up too much. That was, we should have spread out more. You can't really fight if you have to face 3 or 4 different sides. And the reason for that is that you can't focus fire unless the enemy's in front of you. The more they're in front of you, the more you can have more of your mechs firing forward and at the same targets. But if you're in a you're like in a circle and you've been encircled on the outside by a group, now your mechs are focused in different directions and one at a time. So it's almost like you're spreading your damage out more one at a time instead of focusing a guy down, focusing a guy down, focusing a guy down. And when you're in the center of a circle, their team is focusing all into the center. So that doesn't usually go very well. So just a little tactical thing there. All right, let's learn some history while we're waiting for that to pop up. There are a few variants. There's not a lot of variants available yet in-game here. Looks like the match is just getting over, so we'll go ahead and jump into another match to give you an idea. The Vindicator carries as its primary weapons a series arm smasher PPC in its right arm, giving the mech a weapon capable of striking at long ranges and doing a respectable amount of damage. Usually a PPC is about 12 points of damage. It does have a minimum range, so it's not a close-up weapon. And it does have a maximum range, but it is pretty far. Of most of the weapons, it's pretty far out there. The weapon also features an innovative cooling jacket which possesses water intake ports around the muzzle, allowing the pilot to dip the PPC into a body of water and quickly cooling it, with steam exiting via a nozzle at the opposite end. I don't think that's actually modeled into MechWarrior Online, but it may be. In the model, you can see when you turn the mech around, there is that nozzle at the end, which is cool. However, this process leaves the Vindicator vulnerable as it must kneel motionless for 10 seconds, so something we're probably not going to do. As a second long-range weapon and giving the mech indirect support capability is the Scion Series Jaguar LRM-5, mounted on the mech's left torso behind an armored door and supplied by 1 ton of ammunition. An extremely reliable system, the Jaguar can take quite a bit of abuse before it shuts down. Finally, for close-range work, the Vindicator carries a head-mounted series arms medium laser and a Hessen 9 small laser in its left arm. The Hessen laser was the result of the Confederation forcing series to use at least one non-proprietary weapon system as a way of stimulating domestic trade. So it's an economic decision to put it on the mech versus a tactical decision. That always goes great. Engineers had considered giving Vindicators 2 PPCs, but such a setup would overburden its cooling system and leave it with no free hand to carry items. Although you might be able to find a way to put 2 PPCs on it. There are some other variants out there. You can see a couple that are listed that you can buy. This was an interesting one. There was an interesting variant that I saw in the history here. It was a drone variant. And the Capellans did an experiment in 3071 based on the VND-1R. The cockpit weight is increased to 5.5 tons to accommodate a robotic drone control. And the jump jets and the case in its right torso are removed. So they remove that to offset that weight. The left torso LRM-5 is replaced with 2 ER medium lasers. And the right torso ammo bin is replaced with an additional double heatsink. These mechs were operated by an AI controller known as the Broken. So that's an interesting thing. You don't see that too often where you think about drone mechs. All right, so we go from an absolutely cold map to an absolutely hot volcanic map. Some things that's going to affect us is heat generation. So we're going to get a good idea about heat generation now. It didn't seem too high, but firing those PPCs off, you probably, my guess is you get 4 or 5 shots continuously. So 5, or not continuously, but consecutive shots. And then you're probably going to overheat at that point. So keep that in mind. We're going to move with our team here. What do we got? We're following a Centurion. If that's a stock one, it's probably an AC-20. And maybe an LRM. Not recalling off the top of my head. Got lots of ECM on the team this time. That's never a bad thing in MechWarrior Online. The cockpit does feel pretty cramped to me, but maybe they did that as kind of a nod to the history of the Vindicator. I mean, those are some big angled kind of struts that you're having, viewing on the right and the left and right side there. All right, so this is going to be bad for me. And I'm sure those of you that are watching are like, oh, here's a bad part. My PPC's on the right. And if we're going to hug this wall in a clockwise fashion, it means I've got to expose a lot more of my body to get the PPC online to fire. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit back far enough that I'm not in these guys' way. Give them room. Because what I want to do is be able to fire my missiles. Oh. Okay, I need to get out of... Oh, here we go. Plenty of guys over here. Taking hits from the back.
New target acquired.
Blackjack. Maybe we can put a few on him. Nope.
New target acquired.
Adder.
Target destroyed.
All right.
Target acquired. New target acquired.
Try to help with these lights if I can. They're not keeping lock very well. They should be switching their ECM to the counter. I don't see them doing that. They're just keeping their ECM disrupt on. ECM has 2 modes. One is to hide your mech, and one is to counter another ECM, basically shut it down. There's still one back there. See if we can just skirt that mountain a little. Might be getting a few shots on him. Plenty of LRM rounds, so that's pretty good. That 1 ton of ammo seems to be working out pretty well. Again, I'm looking for long-range opportunities, so I'm not really keen to jump into that pit. We need better vision, though, so it'd be nice if some of our light mechs got this guy killed. This Blackjack's still up. Here's one issue with missiles you got to be careful with is when you're firing, you got to watch for mountainsides and things that can get in the way, especially if you're on some of the forest maps. The trees can get in the way. So he's going back up to the top. I don't know what our guys are doing. Oh, we got a guy right here, Mad Dog. All right, we're at 31% with just 1 fire there. We're in range for that.
Target destroyed.
Hey, that guy went down quick. He must have took a lot of damage, maybe dropping. Because usually a Mad Dog's tougher than that.
Target acquired.
4-2. Keeping an eye out. So their team is spread out this time. See how our team is spread out this time? That's nice. We had a guy disconnect, though. That's not good. They're starting to push this, but I'm not seeing targets, so there must be ECM over there.
New target acquired.
Oh, I saw Misery. That's going to be a stalker. Black Knight, one of my favorite mechs. Going to engage one of our guys who just might have died. I'm going to see what my team's going to do here. I'm not really seeing big mechs. What do we got here? Thunderbolt, Hellbringers. Okay. Pushing in. Pushing in from two sides. Sitting at 9. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thunderbolt just got hammered.
New target acquired.
Oh, that's why there's an Atlas sitting there. See that low firing PPC? It always bugs me. But 20-point hit's always nice. There we go. That's a kill. That's a kill with the PPC. It can hit hard. Remember, you want to stay above, or I believe it's 90 meters for the PPC. It's either 90 or 120. It's one of those.
Target acquired.
Stormcrow. We'll see if we can get this guy out of here. Really slow. 64 miles an hour for a medium mech is super slow to me. I like my mechs to be quicker than that.
Target destroyed.
There we go. Kill assist. Don't fall off. Now there's a Black Knight still out there. Got a nice Hellbringer here with plenty of armor still, 78%. There's the Black Knight. Take that in the right arm. Take that in the right arm. Take that in the right arm. Oh, he went down. I don't know what that noise is. Now we look for the other guy. One last guy, 12 on 12. So not a bad match for the Vindicator. PPC doled out some damage. I successfully that time kept myself alive using the torso twist method. I'm not very good at it, but oh, and that guy just killed himself. Okay. Suicide. I don't think I did a lot of damage there, but just picked my spots, my opportunity. Yeah, we only did about 111. We did get a killing blow for assists, which isn't bad. It's pretty good points for that. So a pretty good match for the Vindicator. So I hope you've enjoyed it. This has been a look at the 45-ton Vindicator medium mech. Think about it as a long-range or mid-range mech. It's slow, so you're going to want to stay with your support and assault groups. You're not going to want to be the one scouting. You're not going to be the one that wants to brawl. You're going to want to snipe shots, and you're going to want to play a bunch of matches to get a real good feel of where that PPC, where you can fire it, where you can't. I made some misses on it just because of how it's at the waist weapon system that we've talked about before. And you just want to get used to that. A lot of times with mechs too, I mean, the more you play them, the more you kind of fine tune them. You become the mech warrior that understands that mech. So hope you enjoyed it. I'm glad you joined. Hope you leave a like button. Hope you subscribe. And hey, if you're out there, and you haven't played this game yet, you might give it a shot. A free to play game like this, it's worth it when you don't even have to pay any money. I gave them money because it's worth at least something. They put a lot of work into this, so it's worth, a few dollars from me. And so it's been a good game. All right, we will see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good, safe morning, afternoon, or evening, whichever one you might be having. And we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.